Alrighty, guys. Hello, hello, hello. This is Jessica Villarreal, and I am joined today by some amazing leaders and friends that I have found in our boot camp. We are all leaders within the Scentsy organization, so we're just having a little cool mastermind every so often just to come and share our struggles, our weaknesses, and our things we are really good at, just so everybody can kind of learn from each other. So, with that being said, who wants to start? Any takers? Yay, nay. Lucy, are you driving? Crazy girl.
I'm driving to work. But I'm just everywhere. I cannot stay focused on one thing. That's my main struggle is my focus. Like putting focus into my business, into my home, into my day job.
That is a big one. So Lucy and I met up yesterday just to talk about that. The one thing that we were gonna work on for that was the scalable systems. I had already sat down previously with someone and we went over like a whole list of the things that we did. And I don't think Lucy was able to attend that. So hopefully those you guys are utilizing those because man, it works really, really well. But now I'm trying to tweak mine. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. So hopefully Lucy will get started with that really, really soon. Anybody else? I know Lucy's kind of cutting out.
Hey, will you show me what you do with your scalable systems, like in your planner and everything?
Well, let me tell you, I'm going to show you what I had been doing. And I started these, I started Christina's Scalable Systems like about a year and a half ago when she first introduced it. And I got these big, huge binders. And I did okay with them, but what I noticed is that I wouldn't take them with me. And at that time, I was working a 9 to 5. It was like it got lost in translation. So when she reintroduced the new video this year with the scalable systems, and she talked about the ARC, I don't know if you can see this, the ARC binders, I went out and purchased 4 of these for the Monday, the Tuesday, the Thursday, and the Friday, because I also kept my Wednesday for going out into the streets and, doing the things that I needed to do. So I followed this. Now, these, I have each one. The documents that I have, I just retweaked hers to fit what I do. And I printed them 2 to a sheet, and I have them like this. So, but this is my thing. When Kimberly introduced the stickers, I thought about that because this is my binder that goes my planner that goes everywhere with me. So I've been noticing that now I use these and I check them off the weeks that I'm in my office. But when I'm not in my office, I'll be out in the street or, doing whatever. And then I'm like, crap, I didn't bring that with me. So I get stuck and delayed on not doing some of these things because they are not with me. So somebody on here had, I don't even know why I hadn't thought of that. But, these are already hole punched, right? Like, they're already hole punched. They're in this thing. So I think what I'm going to do now is literally take these out and not use this, and I'm going to put them in my planner. So that way I have them with me no matter what, wherever I go, and I can actually try to be more productive, because that is really, when I have this with me, oh my gosh, I tell you, when I was doing these, it helped so much because I just got 1,000, just like everybody else, 1,000 things to do. And when I'm a list person and I have to have it on pen and paper. Computer doesn't really work for me in that aspect, even with a planner. So when I can check it off and I know that I did it, I think I feel more accomplished. So that's what I've been doing.
And what is that planner called?
This planner is called the ARC, A-R-C, I believe it is.
Okay.
I don't think it's A-R-K. It's called, A-R-C.
Okay.
And then they have like little extras. I bought these little things because like for my, let me just show you. And my thing is I struggle with, well, I'll just go first, my sales. And I know that stemmed from customer follow-up. Like I have no problem. My strength is recruiting. I can get out there and recruit like crazy because I am focused on that follow-up system. On my customer follow-up system, I suck. And I never, ever reached $2,000 in a month. This month I did. It was my first month. But like I even have extra order forms here. And then for this one, that's what the one that I posted today that I'm trying to like, okay, so I suck at sales. So that's what I'm trying to just get ideas of other things. If maybe I'm missing anything else on here that somebody else is doing to really help their sales just in customer follow-up. Not so much.
I can show you what I do for customer follow-up, and it's really helped me.
Okay.
Y'all, please ignore this. I'm a hot mess. So somebody showed me this, and basically it's just one of these short little notebooks, but you could use the one you've got. And so I put extra order forms in here, and then I have these little, can you see that? These little pocket binders, and I just labeled it. So it's like to be ordered. And then I have this one, it says place shipped orders, and then pending orders, and then I go to the customer follow-up. So I have my 2-day follow-up. So basically I just move my order forms. So it's like 2 days, 2 weeks, and then 2 months. And so that's what I've been doing. And it helps me out a lot.
You have a to be ordered, a place shipped, and then what else?
Pending deliveries.
Okay.
And then 2 days post delivery, and then I do the 222.
222. Okay. Sweet. Awesome. That helps because I think sometimes I'm just like, okay, I have a whole stack of order forms and I do nothing.
Yeah, that has helped me out a lot. And then I take them out and I keep them month. After that, I keep them in their month for like January, February, March.
In the accordion, like in an accordion month. Okay.
It's helped me out a lot.
Awesome. Okay, so you want to go next on what you think your struggle is?
Who are you talking to?
You, Annalise.
Oh. Let me think. I think one of my main struggles is following up. So I've implemented that system, and I'm going to start implementing one that's similar to that for recruiting and stuff and following up with them. And probably my biggest fault right now is just prioritizing my time. That's probably the biggest thing, is not spending too much time on things that aren't going to get me a sale or a recruit. Because sometimes I'll come and I'll sit in my office and I'll be like, I'll start working on something and I waste like so much time on something that I shouldn't be wasting time on. Is probably my main thing, is just time management and prioritizing things. So if anyone has any ideas for me, I need to start, what was that breakout that we had? Let me get my notes. The one, I think it was Sarah Walker's. And it was about the scalable systems. So I think that's what I need to implement, is the scalable systems. That's probably the main thing.
I would probably say when I started, I was everywhere before that. Like, and of course, it doesn't work out perfectly every month, but I've noticed that when I do follow that, I get so much more done, and then I can have the time to do what I need to do, but I know those things are done. But prior to that, oh my gosh, horrible. I was everywhere.
Yeah. So this is the planner I use. It's one that, y'all know Flyers by Shauna?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she made it and someone sent it to me as a gift. And so, like, I need to figure out how to implement the scalable systems, because I'm going to continue using this. Mm-hmm. But, like, I mean, it's by day, and so everything's just, like, written out. So I keep everything, and I keep my mileage and all my expenses in here, too. So I've got to, I think the stickers may be a good...
Oh, that's what I was going to say, yeah,
idea for me on that. Yeah, I need to work on that.
Awesome. Anybody else want to share their struggle?
I mean, I have a lot. We just may not have that much time.
I'm horrible, first of all. I'm good at like customer service and I can do a home party. And ever since I've set my goal for 2000, then I've had it for the last
Who is this talking? I don't know who that is. Anybody? Let me see. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna mute everybody and then you unmute yourself because it's loud. Let's see. So that way I'm trying to see who it is that was trying to. Okay, so whoever that was, is it who's on the phone?
No, it was me. Christy.
Who is this?
Christy.
Oh, Christy. Okay. Okay, so we didn't hear you. What was it that you said?
So I'm not a great follow-up person.
Mm-hmm.
I still am like, I'm serious. Like I'm like act like a certified consultant. It's like I don't want to be a bugger. So when you guys say that you follow up in 2 days, I'm like, oh my gosh, that just puts me completely out of my comfort zone. I do follow up, but not like I should. Like not like I should. So what do you say when you follow up after 2 days? Like,
I'm gonna let somebody else who does really good in follow up answer that because my system is broken.
anybody?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes, I was gonna out because you're the follow up queen.
Waiting for me? So, like, a lot of times, I tell my team too, some people, you know, like you said, you're kind of, that's out of your comfort zone to contact them. And you don't have to, there's other ways to contact them. So, like, you can send them a text message, an email, a voice message through Facebook. I prefer to do that versus a typed message through Facebook because it's just more personal when they can hear your voice. You can use the app Slide Dial so that it goes straight to their voicemail and you don't actually have to talk to them. I think that's the best thing for me because then they'll respond back. You leave them a question at the end, they'll respond back to you. Sometimes they won't. But this way you're not embarrassed or don't feel like you have to talk to them 2 days later. But when you do that, that's what really helps as far as, you know, really, I guess you have to be consistent. You know, you have to make sure that you're constantly doing that. Don't start something and then they don't hear from you, you know, until they contact you. That's the biggest thing. If you're going to, Jessica, that's the biggest thing. If you're going to be consistent with it, follow-up is really important. And that's why she told me to jump in because I do mine a little bit different. And I guess that's my struggle is finding something that I'm going to be consistently using. I use a couple of different things. Now, I use them consistently, but I don't stick to one system. I kind of jump around, you know, which is my downfall because I'm trying to do too much. But yeah, definitely making sure that you're consistently following up with them. And it's not going to be a struggle. You actually get used to that and they get used to hearing from you. Now, it's when you don't call them back, when they think something's wrong or they think that you've fallen off the wagon. That's when, you know, because if you're doing what you should be doing, trust me, it's not going to bother them. They're like, oh, I was just waiting for you to call. I knew you were going to call me soon, you know. They get used to that. So, I mean, there's different ways to go about it if it's kind of just makes you nervous.
Yeah, I did have a situation where I have a really good customer. I call her the Midnight Big Lady because she loves X-Men. But I would just follow up with her with a new catalog, or I would text her with different little things. And, she found out I was a director and contacted me and would congratulate me. And I had a moment where I thought, I need to ask my customers, like, how often would you like me to follow up with you? And so I was following up with her every 4 months, every other month. So I'm trying to be better at that, and then, hit them up here and there too. So
Yeah.
that's good, because I'm not consistent with that. And so that's good.
Yeah, that's kind of hard to, the way I see it, it's kind of hard to really do like the 222 system. I love that system for the most part. But there's times when your customers, maybe had a rough month and they only ordered a 3-pack this time because something came up and that's all they could afford. Are you really going to wait 2 to 3 months to follow up with them? You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of, and that's why I struggle so much with my follow-up, because I want to make sure that my customers are taken care of and they're not trying to find somebody else to go to, because we all know that you have events and they might be loyal customers and they might stick to their people, but it's right there, and it's kind of like they're going to get it because it's in front of them, but I just can't go months when somebody bought one room spray, or something like that I know that they're going to go through before the time is up. So
Candy, tell me about this slide dial. What is that? And how do you spell that?
it's SLY dial, DIAL. It's an app. I don't know if it's on Apple only or if it's on Android. I don't know if some of you guys have Android and y'all have it already, but basically what it is it's an app that you download, and when you go into there, you would put in the person's phone number. And I recommend, because I didn't do it the first time and I was caught off guard, I would recommend like trying it out maybe on your friend or on your husband or something, because I was like so ready to talk to this voicemail and I did it wrong and the answer, and I was like, hi, like I don't know what to say. So yeah, try it out first, but you just put in their phone number and you click the little deal. It's very easy. When you go in there, it tells you what to do. It's super simple. You just put in their number and you click the deal and it'll dial it, but it goes straight to their voicemail. So it doesn't actually ring for them to pick up. So have you ever gotten a voicemail where all of a sudden you get a voicemail and you're like, hey, my phone didn't even ring, and you answer and it's like a telemarketer or whatever, a recorded deal? That's basically what it does. It goes straight to their voicemail.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So, and that's really good for those people who work during the day. They're at work, you don't want to call them, things like that. So you can leave them messages during the day and they can get back to you.
Gotcha. Sweet.
And excuse me, I'm going back and forth if I'm not looking at you guys because I'm trying to get my stuff ready for my training tomorrow.
So who wants to
One thing I found is to make sure your customers know that you like referrals or, offer referral gifts. I have a lady that's been ordering probably 2 or 3 years from me, and she just got the Chasing Fireflies warmer. And so I messaged her a couple days later because she was really, usually she just buys bars. And, but so I messaged her to see how she liked it. And she said, oh my gosh, I love it. I get so many compliments on it. And I'm like, if you're getting compliments on it, how come nobody's like wanting Scentsy, So I was like, oh, well, I'm like, if someone comments on it or, if anyone needs Scentsy, I offer a referral program if they come to me to get Scentsy. So it just kind of put that in her mind that, oh, maybe I should mention it when somebody comments on it again or something. So just make sure your customers know that you have that. That was kind of eye-opening for me. I'm like, oh, I should really make that a big thing.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. Who wants to go next? Do you want to go next, Renee? What's one of your struggles?
Probably my biggest ones are recruiting and follow-up. I've gotten great ideas from you guys, though, so I'm going to implement those for sure. I love Annalise's idea now with the customer follow-up, and yours on the recruiting was amazing the other day. So I'm definitely going to implement those.
Now that you just said that, let me show Annalise what she was just talking in the chat about 365 planner that Sarah talked about a lot, which is the one that I use. And I absolutely love it. But so I'll show you I mean, it's really simple, but it's what I use and it really works. So like this is my April, right? And what I do for every month with these 365, I don't if anybody has it, they sell these in packages. So I get the extra packages like this, and then I just stick this in here, and I have one for every month. The month layout, I have one for my, I don't know if you can see that, my March possible recruits. And then I have one, this one I keep right here, and it just says follow up for, and I usually put anybody that asks me a question about orders, anybody that asks me a question about basket parties, I kind of put them here. So it's just my way to go back and look and see, okay, so, oh, she didn't order, but she said something about an order. Oh, I haven't given her a basket party or talked to her about it. So let me contact her. And then this has been something that I've used for years, and I just did it in like a little note section in my other planners that I've used. But I like this because I can put this in here. And even if you don't want to do it by month, you can always take this out and just transfer it to the next one. So what I do with this is every time they join, I just scratch them out and put join next to it. So these were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of my 6 that actually joined in March. But all the rest of those people, where's my April? I transferred them over to April's, and then there's not any particular way that I really follow that I don't, and maybe I should. The inserts, you get them at Michael's. That's where I got this whole planner from, but I guess I don't want to break a system that's going good for me, I guess you could say, or add more to my plate. But what I do with this is, I just try to, and not so much like somebody was asking me, well, how do you follow up with them, or what is your follow-up system with them? I said, I really don't have one. I just try to create a relationship with them. I don't, say, it's not like I follow up with them every single month and say, hey, do you want to join? It's $99. Have you thought about joining? I also try to comment when they post things, or, just reach out to them on something totally different than Scentsy level. But I just know that these people are in my radar no matter what. So I try to connect with them on a personal level, on a Scentsy level. And I just kind of know, on my list, they've been added on, and I kind of just know where I've been with them and the relationship that we've created. So, I just try to tap into them when I can. So that helps me big time with recruiting, because, you got so much in your head, you don't remember who and what and how, and, so I just list the names. I'm a list person, so that works for me really good. Okay, so anybody else wanna?
If not, I want to talk about recruiting.
Okay. Go ahead, Chrissy.
Whoever. So I have a lady I want to approach, and she lives on my street. She's German, and she goes to Germany during the summertime. So I already sent somebody, one of my friends just went to Germany yesterday, so I sent her for them to go to her daughter and talk to her. This lady, she's a really good salesperson at Macy's, top sales, whatever. And I just want to know, how would you personally approach her?
Okay, so I guess I'll just chime in on this. So let me ask you this. I mean, what is y'all's relationship now? Do you go to her house? Or she's just a neighbor?
And she'll come over when I have little get-togethers or whatever. I need a discount on my Coors or whatever. But I haven't. I don't have the biggest relationship with her. It's just we're all neighborly. But I really haven't even talked to her about Scentsy. I've talked to her friend, but I haven't talked to her. And so I just want to know a good way
So do you know if she uses the product?
I don't.
I would start there personally. Me, I would just, I would start with the product. Now I know I always say lead with the opportunity, but I'm going to tell you exactly like in that aspect. I do that a lot with people that already have somewhat of a sense of what I do. So again, I use social media a lot. So someone that already knows what I'm doing, they're seeing what I'm doing, but someone just strictly, I don't know if you have her on Facebook or if she's seeing what you're doing. Now, if she is, then I would lead with the opportunity. Or, I would say how amazing she is at her current position that, you'd love to just chat with her over coffee about, this amazing opportunity. And maybe it may be for her, maybe it may not. I would lead with the opportunity if she already saw what I was doing. But if she has absolutely no earthly idea, then I would probably introduce her to the product and then go from there. That's what I would do. I don't know if anybody else wants to share.
Absolutely knows. It's just I have not been a recruiter person at all. That was like until the last maybe year. I kind of built my own. So before I was not sharing at all. Like it was about the product. Oh, you like the product? Then I would do it. So I just wanted to get your idea if I should, and talk to her for some business cards. I could do a oral bag if you wanted. I just wanted to see how you would do it.
And then I don't know if you've ever seen, but I use these a lot with people that I know are like, if she's already like top sales, in her current position, that's like normally in my radar, I would be like, OMG, I need to tell her about the opportunity. But because you already know she's really good at something, then I would highlight that. And I have these, I'll have to try to see if I can grab one, but I'm sure they're floating around everywhere, but they're called the Sparkle cards that it's like a recruiting type of card. And it says, you caught my eye. I can't, you impressed me or something like that. And I just want to share this with you and maybe put a joint folder with the scent circle and, a call to action just to look at it, see what you think and just hand it to her. That's what I would do. But highlight, what she's already absolutely great at that that you just said. That's another way I would approach the opportunity before the product. Anybody else have any advice on that? Let me see if I can find that. So this is what I was talking about. I had some of these and I have some other ones, but it just says, I chose to give you this because you impressed me. You have something special that caught my attention, and I'm always looking for dynamic people to become part of our team. If you are working now or did in the past, and it just has and it says, if you would like to learn more about what I have to offer, please contact me by phone. Hope to talk to you soon about a bright future using the sparkle you already have. And let's create your Scentsy success stories. It's like just a little postcard. But there's several other formats that I've seen, but basically it's called a sparkle card, what you saw in them.
And did you just make those up at Vistaprint or something?
Well, actually these, I don't have the template for these, but I have the template for some other sparkle cards that are just a little bit different, but basically say the same thing. But yeah, they're just 4x6 postcards. These are part of all my postcards that I print out and just have on hand just to send out to possible recruits or team members.
Hey, Jessica.
Yeah.
Is that one that we got from Anna?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so. I was looking through my cards to see if I had it. I'll look on the old team page. I still have access to it. And I'll look and see if it's in there.
Yeah, this is the one that she gave me, or a stack that she gave me. I know Becca has one on her site, but it's kind of similar, but I don't have one of those to show.
Sorry, guys, I keep dropping y'all. That's not funny, Autumn.
Anybody else? Y'all jump in. Okay, so let me jump in and say I'm gonna ask, what do y'all do to hit $2,000 months? Like, I don't know.
Girl, I'm trying to unmute myself. I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties
You're
over here.
already unmuted. I can hear you.
No, I know I am now. Girl, I feel like it's Monday. That's what happens when you vacation. My biggest thing is parties. You know that. I mean, parties, and follow up. I hit my 2,000 with no problem. I mean, I haven't really done too many basket parties. I'm more of a home party person because I'm home all day, every day. So I want to get out of the house. But I mean, you know, a home party for me is an easy $500 to $700. So I make sure that I do at least a home party every weekend. You know, get away from the house for a day, and really I only work hard 4 days out of the month. You know, and then the rest is pretty much just follow up. I get, you know, orders here and there just following up. So I make sure I hit my 2,000. You can do it.
I set a goal. When I set a goal for myself, that's when I started getting. You know, when I first started, I was all over the place, and I would get 1,000, 500, 1,800, whatever. And so after like the second year, I set it for 500. Always met that. And then for the last 2 years, it's been 1,000, but mostly over. And then when I really focused on wanting to become a director and really work this and quit my other job, I just said, I made a vision board too, which really helped. I mean, it really does help. And I just put $2,000. I put director. I put a couple different things under that, and I hit like right away. Like director came for me in 2000, and it's been good. And I put the board away, and then all of a sudden my numbers started going down a little bit, so brought it back out. So I just make it my intention, and I haven't even hit 2,000 yet, and I don't even want to tell you how far away I am from it right now. But I feel like I'll still do it. Like I break them down into small steps, and I get it. So I did a party last night, and it was 500, and then I have some people that I need to call, and I have a fundraiser I need to put in. So, and I just have a good relationship with my customers, so they always are like referring me out. So between home parties, and basket parties and just calls, I seem to get it. And I just have to say too, Jessica, you have like such an aura about you, so it's so like amazing to me. Like everybody struggles in something, and this is hard for me. I'm like looking at myself going, and you can do that, and so it's amazing to me that you are like more intimidated to do a home party.
Yes, I get so freaked out. Like, okay, so you know, since obviously this month I had 2 home parties and they led me to 2,000, and, you know, with the other orders that I have and a few basket parties, like I got to over 2,000. So you know, we had a little mastermind meeting that we have with some of our leaders yesterday, and I was like, okay, so I need to book May. I don't do parties. I just don't. And so I booked one for May the 21st and May the 14th. And I'm like already freaking out now. I'm like, oh my God, I got to go to YouTube. I got to find out how to do a party. I get so like, I don't even know what to do. What am I supposed to do when I get there? I mean, I know what I've heard, but I don't know. I guess I just get really freaked out. And then these 2 parties that I had, the past 2 parties were, which I speak Spanish. You know, I speak Spanish very fluently. But they were, I mean, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm Hispanic, but like people that are straight from Mexico, I mean, they weren't born here. They're from Mexico. I mean, it's a whole different ball game. And they were two ladies that are from Mexico, and I was like freaking out because of that. Because I mean, I can speak Spanish, but I ain't speaking like the correct Spanish. You know, like you gotta get a little Tex-Mex with me because I don't know those. I'm like, what did y'all just say? But so it's a little hard to do that in a presentation when I'm like, I'm over here struggling in English and I'm trying to do it in Spanish. So it's a little struggle for me. So I think those two really took me out of my comfort zone this month. But I mean, it's just confirmation that parties are where it's at. But like, I think what I'm gonna do now is kind of research a little bit more. My first go-to is YouTube, just because that's my favorite platform. But to go kind of look on how to do, like the agenda for a home party. Like, what is one thing that when you do home parties, like what's your outline? What do you do?
Well, I want to speak on this just for a second. I was like you and did not want to do home parties. So like for the first however many years, I probably did 5 or whatever, and I would set it up and I was like, oh my God. But I watched Hannah Hall's YouTube video and then I made it my own. And she does a ticket game. And so it just gives you the opportunity to walk through the catalog and give tickets out. So I almost feel like I'm not standing up there in front of everybody. So I've just recently, I'm going to do like that. I just recently kind of outlined my catalog. So I just say, if you can find the laundry pair, tell me what page it is. I just go through all that stuff. I give a ticket out. They're so excited. And so I give tickets out and people go, you're so confident, I could never do what you do. And I mean, literally, I feel like I'm going to throw up every time I start. But once I get in, it's like I'm not even standing up there talking in front of everybody. So, and then at the end, I give a little bit more tickets if they want to ask about, like, Scentsy, any questions. Then I give a little bit more if they want to ask about what I do in my business. And then if they want to book a party, and people love it. And I feel like I'm not up there, with the spotlight on me. So it makes it easier for me. And like I did it last night, and I booked 2 parties off of it.
Nice. You said Hannah Hall, and I think Annalise said Jamie Solins. Okay, I think I'm subscribed to Jamie, but I have to go back and look. Okay, so I'm gonna research that and try to find ways to like at one time, or I can count these on probably more than one hand, but my home parties, okay, yeah, Katie Farner, I'm subscribed to her channel, but I never have gone to look at her home party videos. I've looked at recruiting and everything else, but not that. But so what I used to do but again, I wasn't the only one there, so it worked perfectly. But I guess I'm going to have to really step out of my comfort zone with this one. But what I used to do that worked really well early on is that I don't know if you guys, well, I don't know. Well, there's not a lot of Team Make It Happen on here, but there's a director, well, now she's superstar director, Melanie Hull. And she's done, she always talks about, always hitting her $2,000 in a month. And I took this idea from her, and early on we did it with my team, and it was great. Like, we had parties, we had recruits. So what we did is we would I did it for consistently, maybe for about 3 to 6 months. And then, just like with anything else, sometimes you just stop it for a month and you don't go back to it, which I think we probably should. We're talking about doing one on the 14th of May. But we had just a place, we picked a place that was fairly big, either a restaurant with a separate room. We did one time, and then we had it at my place of business one time, and we had tables. So just tables and chairs, and every consultant that came brought a drink and salsa and chips. We did a Mexican type theme. But what we did is we had them come, but they had their own individual party at every table. But everybody like contributed to the presentation. So, and I think it it really worked because it was something that my team knew we were doing consistently once a month. So it was a place for them to know we were going to have a quote unquote party. And then they were able to bring their people, and it worked really, really good. I don't even know why we stopped doing it, but it was very early on. You know, I guess you try to implement so many type of different things and systems, and then, you know, you forget why you stopped. But we're talking about going back to that on May the 14th and inviting, but then everybody, well, what I told them was, okay, you're going to have your table. So you have to bring, you get at least I told them 4 to 6 people for a qualifying party. Bring their people. You know, we all did games, different people we picked to kind of talk about. I always talked about recruiting. Everybody else talked about different stuff. But, each person kind of highlighted, I guess it would have been what a party would have been, right? But it was a group effort. And then it worked because it was something consistently that every person could come to, even if they didn't have any parties technically scheduled at their house or somebody else's house or whatever. So it worked, but I just have to go back to doing it and doing it by myself. But yeah.
Okay, I'll talk a little bit on how I do mine. Jessica, you've heard this before because we've done trainings together, of course. But so like what I do at my home parties, like you got to get a feel, because like I tell my girls, because they're like, okay, well, tell me exactly how you do yours. And I tell them each party's not going to be the same. You know, it depends on what kind of crowd you have. Some people want a real quick in and out type of deal. Some people, it'll last a little bit longer. They want you to play games. They interact more, things like that. My goal when I do home parties is to get the interaction. I feel like the party goes a lot better. And not just that, but my main focus when I do my home parties is to educate people on our product. Because there's people who I get every single home party that I go to that says, oh, I've been using Scentsy for years. Yet they don't know, don't scrape out your wax with something hard. Don't use a different light bulb, different stuff like that. And it's like, oh yeah, I put whatever's in there. And it's like, so that's my biggest goal, is to make sure that I get them educated on the product. So what I usually do is, crap, I forgot about that. Anyway, so I have a couple of different things that I make it really quick and easy. People like free stuff. It doesn't matter what you're giving away free. I always make sure that I have scent circles, things like that, smaller items on hand so you're not really coming out of pocket. Whenever I'm following up with my customers and I'm putting those orders in, of course, I'm, getting the free and half price product. So I make sure I stay stocked up on scent circles, things like that, because those are stuff that you can give away. I also make sure that I give away the scent of the month bar so that I can entice them and let them know, you know what, you have this before anybody else can even order it. That kind of makes them feel special too. But I don't do hard games because I don't like to carry a lot of stuff with me. My biggest thing is that, people who want to join want to look and know that it's very simple and that they can do it, and they're not trying to take a whole bunch of stuff with them, or they're not having to purchase a whole bunch of stuff and things like that. So I have one bag. I take one bag with me, and that's it. It has my diffuser. It has my warmer. It has my nightlight warmer. And then I have a small bag, which is over on the other side of the room, and I'm not going to try to run over there and get it. And it has a little bit of everything in my small bag. But I have my little tin that I keep my pins in. And each one of my pins they all have stickers on them. And these stickers are like the ones that Jessica was talking about the other day from thebooster.com. So my pins all say every item in the catalog has 3 prices. Ask me. And so if anybody asks about it, of course, they're, free, half price, and full price. Those are the 3 prices. But in here, I have one pin that says, I love what I do and you can too. So it's the only one that stands out of all of the rest. Each one of my pins all have the same exact sticker on them. So that alone is one gain, so that I'm not having to take extra stuff. Okay, so the one person who has that pin is the one who's going to get a prize. The other game that I do, I have clipboards that I put my order forms and my catalogs on. And in the back of all of my clipboards, I have my contact information. I have a join sticker. Some of them are different than others, as you can see. But then I have the scent of the month stickers. Okay, so then somebody's going to get a clipboard that has the scent of the month for that month. Again, that's another game that you don't have to take, stuff that you have to take with you. And then the third one that I do is, of course, what you guys were talking about were the tickets. So this is where I really get people engaged in my home parties. The first thing that I do is my order forms. What I do is I put them on the clipboard, and the whole top part of my order form is highlighted, okay? And as I pass around the clipboards with the pin and everything, I tell them, you have to fill out the top part of the order form. Once you're done with that, hold it up. I'll come around and I'll get it, and I'll give you a ticket for a raffle, okay? So by doing that, it's going to do two things. One, it's going to ensure that you get all of their information because it's highlighted, because you want to be able to follow up with them, add them to your newsletter, things like that. And two, it's going to put you back in control over the order form, because people will not pay attention to you. They'll try to fill out the order form on their own. You won't be able to read their handwriting, or they'll start stopping, while you're talking to say, oh, well, what's this product number, when we don't use product codes. So then you're kind of like, oh, well, you don't have to worry about that. And it's just kind of crazy. So if you're in control of those order forms towards the end, then you can just turn around and say, okay, whenever you're ready, come and see me and we'll go ahead and get you taken care of. So that way you're able to read your own writing, things like that. Now, at the end, once I'm done with my my show, I say, okay, does anybody have any questions? So everybody got one ticket, but here's your chance to earn more. For each question that you ask, I'll give you another ticket. And that's where it gets kind of competitive, and everybody's like, oh, well, she raised her hand 5 times already, so I need to start asking more questions. And, no question is a dumb question. I tell them, I don't care. You can ask me about the opportunity. You can ask me about booking a party. You can ask me anything about the products. Whatever you choose, ask, because somebody else here at this party might be thinking the same thing, but too shy to speak up. So again, that's where the participation comes in, because, so-and-so keeps raising their hand and they're like, oh, this lady's not going to win this prize. And it starts to get fun. They get out of their comfort zone. But as far as my whole party goes, I do set up my display, but then I don't go page per page or anything like that, because I don't like for it to be too long. People want to get in, get out. They want to know about the product, but then they want to get down to the basics of it. So I do my catalogs once again with my handy dandy stickers. Okay, so I do this every single catalog season that we have, and this basically shows me like things that I'm going to highlight. So I always start, for me, when I do my home parties, I always start off with my story, and that right there alone is another game that I do. So every time they hear the word Scentsy for me, they pass the gift around, and whoever ends up with it at the very end is the one who keeps it. So I do my story, and I let that be my very first intro game. That's kind of an icebreaker for everybody. And they start laughing from the very beginning, because it's like, they'll be like, excuse me, she said Scentsy, you need to pass that. And they start getting like that from the very beginning, which is what you want. You want them to be comfortable with you and make it fun. So after my story, then I go through my catalog walk, which I always start at the very end. And I do this so this way I know that I make sure I offer the opportunity to join my team to every single person at the party. And I offer the opportunity to host their own party at every single party. So this way I don't ever have to worry about leaving thinking, did I talk to everybody? Did I offer the opportunity to everybody? So I start at the back of the catalog. I let them know it's $99 to start up. I tell them to open up their page, and I show them that this is what they can get in their starter kit if they choose to join. If it's not for them, I tell them it's okay. I turn to the next page, and I have these parts highlighted, as you can see, because that's basically what I tell them. I say, bring the journey home and get the most when you host. It pays to party. That's all you have to say. And then you show them here what it is that they can get for free and half price. Okay. So I tell them, if the opportunity is not for you, maybe you want to, you know, host a party with your friends and family, get some free and half price product. Then I go through my catalog. So the first thing that I talk about, of course, is the wax and the warmers. And so I have it done here to let them know that these are the different categories. And then from there, I go to my next tab. I let them know the different styles of warmers, because sometimes I've had a lady contact me talking about one of her crackle warmers, and she was like, oh my God, it looks like it's been broken and it just hasn't fallen apart yet. So she didn't realize that that's the way it's supposed to look. So I definitely talk about that, because you'd be surprised. Or you get somebody who says, oh, well, I wanted it to shine more light, or somebody say that shines too much light. So you let them know which ones glow, which has the G, which has the C, that sort of stuff. That's really important, because people really don't understand that. And then again, behind it, so I always talk about front and back. Behind it is my diffusers. I let them know about the new diffusers, you know, the warranty that they have on them, the fact that you can use any oils with it. That's really cool. Then I talk about the MLB warmers and the college warmers. And I do that mainly because I let them know that these we can't use these with our hostess credits, things like that. And then, of course, because you want to make sure that there's stuff there that for the guys. Then I talk about the stuff for kids, because I always implement in my party that Scentsy has something for everyone, from male to female, young to old. Talk about the kid diffuser, like I said, the kid stuff. And then the next thing is going to be our skincare. I talk about that. And then, of course, behind it, you're going to talk about the groom. Okay. So I go really quick. I don't go page per page. I don't sit there and go through all the catalogs, because I'd be there forever and people would fall asleep. And then from there, I talk about the laundry stuff, our kitchen stuff, and then, of course, our combine and save. So up here is the last one, which this is the combine and save section. And then right behind the combine and save section, of course, I talk about how generous Scentsy is and how they give back, and they do a different charity every 6 months. So once I've talked about that stuff, it's pretty much done and over with. Then that gets to, does anybody have any questions about anything that I said? I usually also might have one thing on the table that I did not talk about, and that just goes to show who was paying attention. So then I say, okay, so I have another freebie. So I know y'all love freebies, apparently, because y'all sitting here fighting over them. So who can tell me, the first person to tell me what I did not talk about that's up here on my table? And that just goes to show who was paying attention, right? So then they're all looking at the table all crazy, and they're starting to scream out this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you just weren't paying attention, because I talked about that. You know, and everybody starts to laugh. So it's just about making it comfortable, but it's really quick. I go through it really fast. And then after that, they're smelling the scents. And I mean, it's pretty simple. I make it seem simple anyway.
That's awesome. We kind of have the same style. I love it. You know, one thing I did that was kind of good, I wasn't selling a lot of diffusers. And so I waited till the end for the last 4 parties I've done. So I have it out there, but I don't turn it on until I'm done talking about everything, and then I turn it on. So, and I've had somebody twice that was, you know, one lady was going to buy 3 bars and ended up buying a diffuser and a oil. And another lady came and said, I have enough wax, I have enough whatever, I just, you know, want you to know. And I'm like, oh. And so I waited until the end and did the whole, and when I wait till the end, then I sell the diffuser.
See, I kind of do the same thing. I have my stuff set up, but I turn them on as I talk about it. So like when I talk about the warmer, I'll turn it on and I show them, like, I usually take like the Chasing Fireflies or the Woot, something that's going to glow. So this way I can show them when you turn it on, it really lights up, and then they're like, ooh, you know, cool. And the same thing with my plugins. So I have a stand, so this way I can put my night lights in there, and that way I can turn them on. I have 2 different night lights. I usually take either like the Jane, since it doesn't really glow, and then I'll take one of the glass warmers, or again, the Woot or something that really does glow, so they can see the difference. And then, of course, when I talk about the diffuser, I turn that on. So I do that because I like to hear the oohs and the ahs and see their expressions. You know, it's like, ooh, that's pretty. So
I always tell the girls, bring a $5, you know, bring an amber fluted shade or a diamond. You know, you don't have to bring a ton, but like you said, I say bring up, you know, night light, bring whatever, and then definitely bring like a glitzy $4 to $5 warmer. Because if you have one up there, you always
whatever you usually take is whatever sells. I used to figure that out before the diffuser came out. Whatever scent I was warming, majority of the people at the party would buy that scent. Same thing with the diffuser. Whatever shade I take, that's the one that usually sells. It's because that's what they're seeing. And again, that's why I like the home party, because seeing it, smelling it, feeling it, that makes the world of difference compared to just looking at it through a catalog or on a sheet of paper. I definitely make sure I have one of each of the things. And I also take an element with me because people also want to see the difference, the fact that there is no bulb. Some people don't like the light at night. So I definitely try to at least have 3 to 4 warmers with me. But again, I have one of the older style bags, the rolling bags, and it all fits in there perfectly. So I don't have a problem.
And it is good to bring. I just started bringing the element because one of my girls, some lady ordered the watermelon and then she turned it because it didn't glow. So it is good
Exactly.
to show that is for you.
Exactly. And you can exchange those, but of course, if it's something that, it's just because they didn't like it, that's their charge. And if you're not going to charge your customer, then you're going to be eating that fee all the time. When you can avoid doing that from the very beginning, just by, again, educating them on the different styles of the warmers that we have. I've learned that the hard way.
Use that page with all the different styles, but I'm definitely using that one, so that was great.
And ever since you showed me that, like last year about the catalog, like I even have one in my purse. Every new catalog that comes out, I sticker those. It works really, really good to find stuff. So I have a whole list of stuff that I got to start getting for these home party presentations.
I keep one of each one of my old catalogs. See, yeah. So they're all stickered. And these are all of the different seasons. And I make sure that they're stickered and stuff like that. So that's what I found has worked for me. It makes it less stressful when you get to your party because you know what you're going to talk about. You don't have to worry about, oh crap, did I forget to talk about something? Because again, every party's different. You might have something going on in your life, that you were stressed out before you got there or whatever it may be. But by having a set, practically a set plan, then you don't have to worry about whether or not you forgot about it because it's stickered. So therefore you just go to that tab. Remember, you ain't got to be perfect to be powerful.
I have to share. There's one thing that I did at my last home party was I took I have this and I have like my categories that I have selected, like the oils and all that. So I just took the pages of like the oils and I put that on a little piece of paper. And I heard this on another call that somebody did. So they took the different pages of the different highlighted products and I had the customers pick out a page that they can go to and share. Like, okay, so you have like, as I talk, please look at your page number and share what you like about what you see on that page. And then that way it engages other people to ask questions about like, hey, what is that? What does that do? What can, so I kind of share that way. That's how I share my catalog with my guests.
Nice. So then you have them pick a page and they talk about it?
What I do is I just get a piece of paper and I write down or I type up in like an Avery label format. I type up the numbers in each Avery label, but not the actual label. I just print it out on a clean piece of paper and then I just cut it out and then I have them, as they're coming in, I have them pick a number. Like pick a number that refers to one of those pages. And as we're progressing in the party, I said, okay, now we're going to share our numbers. I bet all of you are wondering what you got that number for. Well, surprise, turn to that page and let us know what you think about what's on that page. So normally it's like the highlighted products that are in our page, in our catalogs. So. Gotcha.
I have a question. And this is more, I guess, to help me answer a team question. How do you guys go about as far as the oils? So like, of course we have our wax and other products and we have samples. We have our testers for all of that. How do y'all go about the oils, having the samples for all the oils? Does anybody see? Me personally, I have my oil samples. So like I have my little bag, right, so that I can keep them covered. And then mine are all in this cute little box. Okay. So then when I open up my box at my party, I have a little sample of each oil and they're all labeled. But my team doesn't. So it's like I have 50 people trying to use my set of oils. What do y'all do? Or does anybody have a way that, without having to go and purchase every single oil? Or do I just tell them go buy the oils?
I don't even have all of the sample oils myself. I only have certain ones. But if they asked me, they wouldn't be using mine and they would have to go purchase their own.
They could go in on something and I saw somebody do like they put it on a felt or something and put in a little container so that, you could just shake a little bit of oil and put in a little sealed container and label it. I have the oils myself, but I did see that somewhere. So the felt keeps it going. I just tell, I don't know who said it, but I think maybe Christina Saybrook said one time, like, you got to invest in your business. So before you do, you need to put a certain percentage in it. So, I help my girls out, but, once you start, you take a percentage and do that. But I think the felt thing might be good. Some people wanted to go in on it. And then put it in the little, I think they even have the dollar store containers that you just stick it in. Just something.
Anybody else have any questions or want to share anything?
I think Autumn does.
I talked a lot the other day, so I didn't want to hog today. Okay, so about the oils, I don't have the oils. I have like 5, and I'm happy to send those with my host. And honestly, those have been what sold, and it just kind of gets them started. But then if they know that they like rose, then hello, they're going to gravitate towards the fragrances that they like. But the oils have not been really popular for me, and so I didn't want to invest in that until I knew, that it was going to take off for me. But I really haven't had any issues with anybody, being frustrated or anything that I didn't have them for them to smell. Because, I've got a variety. I've got the vanilla nutmeg cardamom, and that's one of the best sellers, and so I have that, and, I'm happy to let people smell the ones that I've invested in. And I just kind of leave it at that. And that's all.
I think Jessica's on the phone.
Sorry, I was. Okay, so if anybody else doesn't have any question or chime in if you do. I know not everybody shared there's maybe a struggle or one thing they do really well. Most of us did. But so I know we can go forever, but really quick, like I'm going to tap into like what do you guys do? Because this is a huge one for me, but my scalable systems has really, really, really helped. But I'm really trying to follow those scalable systems and stick with them. And again, like we sat down the other day, us leaders. Well, when I saw these systems prior to that, like literally 2 of me and another leader had sat down for like 2 hours, and we said, okay, we are just gonna literally go psycho crazy with every single thing you can think that we do personally for our business and for our team, and we're gonna write it down. Like, and we both had 9 to 5s at that time, so I said, now I know that we can't keep everything on the list, right? But we're gonna try to go back, and it was only income producing activities. So we had the list was insane. But we did it and took the time to do it. And so we said, okay, well, and we had categories. Like I have that too, and I probably need to find it. But we narrowed it down for each one of us on, it was like for sales, for sponsoring, for follow-up, for team. So it's like those were our 4 main areas of focus. And I was like, it can't be, it has to be income producing, but like everything you can think of doing, like postcards and samples and, you know, creating your, what day do you do your mail outs, or, you know, how many Zooms do you have for your team, what calls, what one-on-ones with your front, I mean, everything. And so I guess for me, my question is to you guys, like, what do you do to, that really helped us. So I narrowed it down to, I think, you know, a good 80% of everything that I do. I mean, I even got down to how many videos I was going to make for customers, how many videos I was going to make for my team, uploading them, like the time to uploading them, how many times I was going to post on whatever social media platform I was focused in on that time. And when I started following those scalable systems, I feel like I was way more productive, because I will start on something and then somebody else will say something and there I go. You know what I mean? So my thing was, I'm going to try to do all these things first thing in the morning, or first at that time was first thing in the evening because I was working still. So now it's kind of like my schedule is a little different. So I'm trying to adapt to that. Like, my question though is, what do you guys do, like, to make sure you get those things done? Like, do you have any type of system that you, or do you work so many hours a day and then walk away? Or do you, like, I mean, I'm the worst at that. And I'm going to be totally honest that I don't really cut off. You know what I mean? And maybe I should, but then I'm like, I'm not where I want to be. So I don't know if I want to cut off at a certain time. You know what I mean? I guess. And then I think your personal life has to do with that too. If you're feeling like it's causing a problem, you know what I mean, family wise. But I guess, do you guys cut off? Do you only work so many hours? Do you still answer team questions if they come in, or do you just tell them no? Or, I mean, what are y'all's thoughts on that?
Okay, for me, I'm gonna jump in there and get mine off. I got at Home Depot because my husband lives at Home Depot. He doesn't get anything I need done, but he lives at Home Depot. So I bought this little deal and I posted it at the entryway of my office. Okay. And it has my business hours. And I did that for myself, because in the beginning, when I first, my first year and a half, my husband and I would have issues because it's always about Scentsy. It's always about Scentsy. It's always about Scentsy. So we had that argument like every day, until he started going on trips, of course, and it changed. And it's like, yeah, you do what you got to do. Go in there. Don't you have a team call? But I had to set my hours because Scentsy is my happy place. So I could do Scentsy all day, every day. I can be watching TV in the middle of something, and if somebody called me and asked about it, straight to my office I would go. I had to make sure that I was doing that because I felt like I was putting it first, and I cut off at 2:00. So this way I have an hour of me time before I got to go pick up the kids. I got to make sure I get them a snack ready because they drive me nuts as soon as they get in the car, but
Story of my life. I'm hungry.
But I pick up my kids, I come home, I make dinner, we sit down together every day at the table and we have dinner together, ask how our day went, things like that. Now on Tuesdays, I know y'all just looked at it really quick, but on Tuesdays, my hours are from 5 p.m. until 10 p.m. So during the day on Tuesday, I don't do Scentsy. And the reason I did that is because I would do my team calls on Tuesday nights. So I didn't want to work 9 to 2 during the day and then hurry up and rush through dinner and then spend the rest of the evening with my team. So therefore, I made sure everything was done during the day. I did my laundry, I cleaned the house. You know, I went to have lunch with my kids at school or just whatever. And then I wouldn't start working until the afternoon. So this way my whole Tuesday wasn't consumed just by Scentsy. So I had certain days, certain times. And then as far as like, when I get things done, I would do mine on certain days as well. So have I been 100% stuck to it? No. But I try to, you know, so that way I set myself in a routine. As far as like team things, I always do okay, so on the first of the month, I do my cards that I send out. So I get all that stuff done on the first of the month. And then on the second of the month, I do my videos, my team videos. And so that way I know that those are done and out of the way. And I don't have to worry about nothing else, worry about whether I did them or anything like that. Now, I don't go to the post office and send anything off until Wednesday. So on Monday, I get the stuff done and they're ready to go, but they don't go until Wednesday. But this way I know that they're done, that, you know, they're taken care of. Because if I put them down, I'll forget, you know, or then I'm worrying about, did I send that off or whatever. And I have, I have my book, and so I just use my book for all of my stuff, like that I write down. So I write down like all of my things, all the cards that I need to send out, who promoted, things like that. And then I guess I was blank that day. I had nothing to do. So then I just keep going, and then I just highlight them, you know, as I mark them off. So this way I know I did it. Because if I don't, I go crazy. I'm like, oh crap, did I do that? Did I send that out? You know, I'm not trying to give no, I mean, I love my team, but I ain't trying to give them no double gifts just because I haven't made it like that yet. But yeah, I write everything down in this book, and I keep it for each month. So I write the month at the top. I write who hit what, you know, who promoted, who's on the fall off list, things like that, because then I make sure that I sit there and I contact them, and then I highlight it to say I contacted them, you know, and this way I know, hey, if they don't do what they got to do, that's on them. I've already done my part. They're highlighted. They're done with. So this keeps me sane. When I tell you, I almost went crazy last week when I couldn't find this book. Woo-wee. I almost went crazy, but it was in my closet. So
Kat, I have a question regarding your schedule for personal business. Does your team, are they aware of your schedule? Do you communicate that to them?
They are aware. Do they listen? No.
That's my concern.
Yeah. But it's okay though, because they know, okay, so like, you know, everybody's different, right? So I have team members who they know, okay, so from this time to this time is when I work, and if I get back to you, you're just lucky I got back to you. But they know that if I don't get back to them, that's their time to look for it, to figure it out, to go to the team page, because we have a team page, you know, and I tell them, utilize your workstation, utilize the consultant support number, you know, utilize the team page. I'm not the only person that can help you figure this out. And I think by doing that, we're enabling them, you know, by sitting there and answering their questions right away, we're enabling them and saying it's okay to not try and to just come and ask me. So and if it's a question that really just gets under my skin, like if they ask me something that if they were just to open the workstation, it would be right there in front of them, I just don't respond. I just don't respond, period. I'll wait 24 hours, you know.
Good idea.
Because what I do is, my biggest thing is I'm trying to teach leaders to be leaders. You know, I'm trying to teach my front line so that they can teach their front line and go on and on from there and there. And that's like the biggest thing for me. So we have a team meeting tomorrow, and I'm taking it right back to the basics, you know, and there's going to be people here who know that, but that's okay, because they need to get that instilled in them. For instance, I was talking to Sorry, had a call. I was talking to a team member right before we got on here, and she was like, "Oh yeah." She's like, "My team knows that. My team knows that." And I was like, "Okay, so they know. You're saying that they know everything, okay? All the beginnings. So what I do is I help my team members out for their first 70 days. You know, all the way up to sensational start. After 70 days, if they ain't got it down, boy, y'all pray for
Lord
me.
help them.
Exactly. You know, but I mean, so, you know, you let them know, hey, it's, you know, it's important. Get your launch party started, you know. Make sure that you're hitting your shooting star and how you can hit your shooting star. And the next thing to do is to get certified, because you got to be certified before you can even hit sensational start, of course, right? Sensational start level 1. She's like, oh, yeah. She's like, my team's already done that. And I'm like, and that's great. I'm glad that you got your team to do that. But do they know why they did that? You know, are you just telling them, hey, you want to hit sensational start level 1, it's $1,250. They don't know what that means. They don't know why they're doing it. They don't know what they're getting because of it. You know, they have to really understand what it is that they're doing. They're not just doing it because you told them that this is a goal that they should hit. You see what I'm saying? Because by doing that, I think people limit other people. You know, you're saying, oh, well, if you hit sensational start level 1, you know, it's $1,250. But what if they could have hit sensational start level 2? Or what if they could have went beyond that and hit sensational start level 3? So instead of telling them what to do, educate them on the levels and what they are, what the different levels mean, and what they need to get there. And then from there, then they can go on. Now, I have, like my cards, and y'all don't laugh. Autumn, no laughing. These are my cards.
Oh, I have that same case.
Okay, so I have cards, and like, so for instance, my girls that, when they start, like, okay, so for sensational start, like I have cards made out for that, and it tells them, you know, level 1, you get, because you worked your business, you've earned this award, you'll receive $50 product credit, your sensational start lapel pin. My biggest thing is, all of this stuff is in their dang book that comes in the kit. I don't care if they got a full-size kit or if they got a $49 kit. The book comes with the kit. If they don't got a kit yet, they can look it up in the workstation. And we tell them that. So there's no excuses. I'm real big on no excuses. I don't want to hear it, because you can't tell me that I didn't tell you. As far as like promotions and things like that, I use these. So like this one says, welcome to Scentsy. I send out the welcome cards when they first join. So it tells them, welcome to Scentsy. Your promotion goal is to become a certified consultant. It says you must do one thing, sell 1,000 PRV. PRV equals personal retail volume. So they can't tell me that they don't know, because they've gotten my card. It tells them one step, and that's all that they need to do. Once they've done the certified, then they get the next one, to become a lead, which you can't see through that. But this one says, you know, congratulations on hitting certified. Your next goal is to become a lead consultant. And it tells you right there, you must have these 3 items in order for you to become a lead, and all in 1 month. 500 PRV, because I still get it. People ask me, well, what do I need to hit lead? You know, and it's like, I feel like a broken record sometimes, you know? So all you can do is set something, and I know they don't like it, but it's okay. They're still there. I mean, it builds them up, you know? So, because they'll ask me, they'll be like, well, what do I need to hit lead? And I'm like, well, have you looked at your compensation plan? And then they're like, They're like, oh, have you not received my card yet? They're like, yeah, I got it. Okay, well, then let me know when you read it. You know, I'm straightforward, because I don't have time to sit here and answer everybody's questions about things that I've already told them, you know? But
I was asking to get tips on what I can talk about for team meetings or to do Zoom with my team.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the questions was, I want to know how I can promote. I have a team now of 5, and I want to know how I can promote and get up to director. So I shared with my team the video on Becky Sadler's. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that, where she talks about the compensation plan and the whole breakdown and how you can promote and how you can build your team. It's Becky Sadler's How to Get Paid with Scentsy, and the topic's How to Get Paid with Scentsy and Learning the Compensation Chart. I posted that video to my team page, and boom, they better not ask me, because it's right there in front of them on how to promote and how to get to different levels and how to grow their team. She even touches on recruiting. and sharing the opportunity.
You know, and here's another thing too. I'm glad that you said that, because I had the same issue as far as, you know, I don't want to be talking about the same stuff over and over. Like, what do I talk about at my team meetings? I struggled with that too. I'm like, okay, I don't want to talk about something that maybe excites me or maybe something that I'm doing but everybody else isn't doing. So what I started doing is I started asking on my team page, because, you know, it's like whenever I went to a reunion last year when Joel was still there, you know, in his class, when he said, sometimes it's, you know, we sit here and we take it in the wrong way. And it's not that they're not doing it, but it's that they don't know how to. And that's one thing that I think us as leaders, we don't really think about. You know, sometimes it's like, oh, they're just lazy and they just don't want to do it. And that's not always necessarily the truth. You know, sometimes they don't do it because they don't know how to do it. They weren't taught how to do it. So therefore, what I do is I ask, okay, hey guys, we're going to have a team meeting. Let's go ahead and put out there and everybody comment below on what it is that you want me to talk about, or what it is that you struggle with, what it is that you want to hear about or learn more about. And I go down my list and I pick out 2 or 3 things to talk about for that team meeting. You know, and majority of them, a lot of times, are the same thing, which of course makes it easier for me to have to sit there and pick and choose. But, you know, if I don't do that, I can be talking about something on a totally different topic and they're like,
you lose them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do. I just straight ask them, what is it that you want from me? What is it that you want to know about? What is it that you want to learn about or you have questions on? And then I go off of that. And then what I do towards the end of the meeting, I say, okay, you know, hey, it was a great meeting. Anybody have questions? Yada, yada. And then I have a paper, and it's just a regular old piece of paper. And I put on there, before you leave, come and sign your name and put one idea that you want me to talk about at the next meeting. So I kind of get started and I have time to work on that from now until the next meeting, you know? And then I just do it again before the meeting. Anyway, I do it on the team page again because not everybody showed up to the meeting. So just because I have these people who signed the paper, you know, X amount didn't show up. So therefore I still get feedback on the team page too.
How often do you do your meetings, your team meetings? Monthly?
I used to do it the first Friday of every month. I haven't been doing it the first Friday of every month. Shame on me. But I at least try to do it every other month if I don't do it every month. So yeah, I just, you know, I had to really come to Jesus. I had to pray because I was getting frustrated, you know, holding meetings and 2 and 3 people showing up. And it's like,
right.
You know, I'm taking my time to do this. And so for a while there, it's like I stopped doing it because I felt like I was taking the time to do it and nobody was showing up. But I had to really understand and look at, you know what, those 2 and 3 people who are showing up, you know, why should I neglect them or why should I stop doing it, you know, because all these other people want to throw all these excuses out there, you know. And I said, I'm just going to do it. Hey, if one person shows up, guess what? Her and I, we're going to have a one-on-one. It's probably going to be the best meeting ever. Right. Same thing with the home parties. You know, I have people who are like, oh, well, we're going to go ahead and cancel because only 2 people showed up. Like, no, you can't do that, you know, because you never know what those 2 people might turn into. You know, it might turn into another party. It might turn into, you know what, we had so much one-on-one time, great time. They might turn into your next team member. So you can't ever really take away just because you have, you know, 1 or 2.
So you open up your meetings for your team members to bring guests, or?
Yes. It really depends, I guess, really on what topics we're talking about. We have done that. And that's more if we're talking about like recruiting and things like that, because the guests might have questions. Jessica and I and a couple of other leaders, we did one not too long ago. You know, and we're like, hey, you know, bring your people with you but we kind of did ours. We did it differently. We did it to where they had to bring a guest in order to come to the meeting. And we really thought about it, you know, whether we should do that or not. But the reason we decided to do that was because we were trying to focus on the people who really wanted it. And it's like, they can come to the team meeting, but you know, if they're not really wanting it or trying for it, then they're not going to show up. They're just gonna be like, oh, I can't find nobody, so I'm not going. You know, so we kind of made it more of that was your ticket to come, was to bring somebody with you. And because the reason I say that is because, you know what, if you want to go to that team meeting that bad, get your mom, get your sister, get your neighbor, whoever, and just be like, hey, you know what, come with me for an hour, even if you ain't interested, because they might not be interested when they say that they're going to go with you just to support you, but they might leave there inspired and say, you know what, I just might join this team, so it just depends.
They see the camaraderie of all of you guys together and talking about
Exactly.
the success stories and inspiring.
Exactly. And I think that's the biggest thing about us and Scentsy is the fact that, we've made the relationships that we have and the communication and the help. And I think that's a thing with everybody, is that they have to feel like they're not going to be in this alone and on the journey by themselves,
Thanks, Candy.
You're welcome.
I'm going to chime in really quick on what we've been doing, and it has, I can't even explain how much it has helped. But I'm going to give a disclaimer on this because I don't know the sizes of everybody's teams, and I don't know where you guys are currently. But and then what I absolutely love that, I don't know, sometimes I feel like when you're supposed to hear something, you hear it. I hit Star Director November of last year. And I believe for 2015, my goal was to promote 2 directors. That was my ultimate goal. And prior to that was always team building, was, getting more people. As our monthly team meetings, we always, no matter what topic, we open it up for them to bring a possible new recruit, and they get a gift. So we always push them to do that because, again, just like you said, they see everything, and it becomes more than what the topic is, but they see the relationships and how we roll and how we flow, and, they want to be a part of something. So that has helped recruiting wise with my team a lot, because they know that it's a monthly go-to. And even if we don't do it, for whatever reason that month, it doesn't happen that we do one, we do a Zoom. So and they invite people the same way. I always, because again, that's one thing that I really focus on with my team is sponsoring. You need to sponsor now, not 5 years into the game. You need to sponsor today before you even sign up. Go think about the person you're going to come bring into the business, right now, who's going to be your first recruit, who's going to be your, your sister, your cousin, whoever's going to learn and grow with you. So that's one thing that has really upped our recruiting on my whole team. But another thing is, in 2015, my biggest goal, like I said, was to promote 2 leaders. So halfway, maybe I want to say it was about March. I don't remember exactly. I did a director in training. And I was so scared to do it, but I did a director in training. Myself and another leader sat down and we dissected the whole Sarah Robbins How to Rock Your Network Marketing Business. And I literally had a spreadsheet and I broke it down chapter by chapter, and we focused on that. I had 3 people promote, 2 frontline, and 1 of my frontline promoted her first frontline within those 6 months in that director in training. There was only 8 of us, 8, not including me, but 8 of them. So I feel like that really worked when I sat and I focused on that was what I was going to do, was building those leaders. And again, a lot of the points that Candy talked about, I am very straightforward with my team. They know I am #no excuses. I ain't trying to hear it. If they inbox me any personal questions, frontline or not, first thing is, don't inbox me a question that can be posted on that team page, because that is a learning opportunity for somebody else. I will tell them, guess what? Go post it on the team page and then I'll answer your question. If they're a frontline, if you didn't go out and look for it, but they know. And every single call we do, we give these 3 things. It's okay, just remember, your first point of contact is always your sponsor. Second point of contact is, how did you try to resolve and find your answer to your question? Did you go to the workstation? And 3 is, did you reach out to your director? And especially now, because I'm not the only director, I have 2 other directors, 3 in our organization. So I tell them, those are your 3 level of tiers before you come to me with a question. I want to see that you asked your sponsor so that person can try to be a leader, that you went and looked at it for yourself so you can become a leader and solve your own problems. And then if you didn't, I will be more than glad to help you find the way. But you're going to have to post it on the Facebook page. And when they post it on the Facebook page, I've had a lot of people lately, they're like, oh, well, can you tell me that one, how did you did you do this? I was like, guess what? I have a big YouTube video for it. Go find it. And when you find it, post it on the page for everybody else. And they've been doing that. And they're like, and then they see my answer and they're like, okay. So I was like, dang, am I going to get a little, from this? But never. And it's just like, and my thing is, I just try to focus it in. You're helping somebody else. Don't be selfish and try to get the answer just by yourself. Go help somebody else, because somebody else is not, comfortable enough asking the question. So just share it. You know what I mean? So that has worked wonders. But so I promoted, right? The director in training worked out really, really well. But at that point, I really felt, and I sat down again with these two other leaders that are, we do our calls together. We do team meetings together. We do everything together. So I'm like, okay, so this is my struggle, where I feel that I'm at now, but that I implemented something and it's been working really well. So I felt like, so you have your front line, right? And you try to teach them, teach your front line, teach your front line, teach your front line, so they can go teach their front line. So my thing was that I always felt like, even now, and we're talking about this yesterday, because I feel like I have 228 people in my group. We only sit at, and I know some of you may be like, well, that's a lot, but we only sit at 29,000 in group wholesale volume, which I think it should be higher for 227 people. I have 120 people sitting at 0. Like, that blows my mind, So for me, I was like, this happened again, like the end of 2015. And that's what I started implementing in 2014. I'm like, I guess your team does what you do, right? I suck at sales, so I don't ever hit $2,000. So I'm over here on the soapbox about it. But that's kind of the way I feel. And so I told, the leaders were sitting down, kind of reflecting on our year, what we did, what we didn't do. So I kind of felt like, I feel like there's so many people now, right? There's a lot more people compared to 20 people on a team and 230 people on a team. So I felt like on our team page, when people start posting, and it is a very active team page. Stuff gets lost, right? And you're like, well, I don't even remember. Somebody said something about that, but I don't got time to go back and look for it. It gets lost in translation. So, I sat down, or it was at leadership. That's where it was. And I heard the Wick freeze. What's his name? Alexandria. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So they talked about their Rising Star program and their little groups that they had. And that was like an eye opener for me, because I was like, okay, so I train like crazy on my team page. But I feel, and I still feel, but it's getting better, that, you're always going to have them people that are rock stars, that are your frontline people. And then you're going to have people that are your frontline and do absolutely nothing, but they have a second generation that is kicking butt, right? But again, your always go-to is your frontline. And that second, you have, connection with them in your team page, but not like your frontline, because I have a frontline only group. So I was like, man, how, I feel like I'm training this person super strong, but they ain't doing anything. And this person is kind of lacking in the training because they're not getting what I give my frontline. But I want to give it to her because she is like, gets it. So my thing was, I was like, how am I going to implement that? Because I feel like she's going to get lost and give up if she's not getting, of course you're going to have your rock stars that are going to go, period, regardless, without anybody's help. But you're going to have those that some need a little bit of extra help and they can get there too. So what I did is I sat down and I just racked my brain. And so I created an essential to certified page, because I went back to my notes from leadership. So every single person that is an essential consultant that comes on, everybody in the group, we add them to that page. And that page is strictly for essential consultant training, shooting stars, sensational start level 1, 2, 3. I go live in there about those things early on. And I train, I mean, anything you can think of. My daily posts, my daily workstation ideas or videos are focused strictly on an essential consultant. And that's it. And everybody gets added to there. Everybody, no matter what. And then, so I did that for like 2 months. And when I tell you, everybody, I mean, so many people in my group were hitting certified. I'm like, OMG, this is working. So, and then I got on a leadership call. I don't know if you guys were on that call with Maggie Hensley, where she talked about her other groups. And I was like, hello, dummy. Like, you need to make a group for the other 2. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm telling you, when you're supposed to hear it, you're supposed to hear it. So around that time was right when I was going to go to boot camp. No, it was a little bit before that. And I had the amazing opportunity to sit down with Sandy Spillmaker for breakfast that Saturday before I took off to boot camp. And she explained to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just genius, that they had broken down 3 people to take in tiers for, which they explained to us at boot camp, in tiers of who was going to take over what consultant. So I think it's Sarah Walker, Jason Harwood, and Jeff Dastra that are taking the, I think it's like essential to lead, and then star to superstar. No, star to director, and then star directors and superstar directors are Jason. So I created those other 2 teams, and I have the rising star, and then I have the elite group, and everything like that. It's like I'm trying to focus on those 3 different intervals on your journey, and it has worked so good. Like, so many people are more active on that essential to certified group. And I feel like they're kind of starting to post more in those groups than the team page, because they're getting it at where they're at, if that makes sense. And I'm able to touch those people, even if they're not my front line, because they're in that specific group. And this is also what helped my director in training, because I hype it up like, you can't get into this group if you're not this. You know what I mean? So, and that is the, look at this. And I would have my leaders post on there, oh my gosh, we did this in our director in training program. And you want to make sure that you get in on the next one, but you have to be here. And, so I've been having them try to do those things within these groups also. And it has helped out so much, so much. I can't see.
I was trying to show them, but you can't see it because my phone's too dang bright.
Yeah.
It's one of them.
So, I mean, I don't know where, and I think this would work good for, I don't know if it would have worked good for me in the beginning, like when maybe I had 20 people, because I'll probably be giving myself more that I could chew. But later, as now, because I always felt like everything got lost on my team page. Like, I post so much, everybody else posts so much, and it's like they're not going to go back unless they're super engaged, you know what I mean? And that's not everybody if I'm sitting with 120 people with 0, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that was, and I just love that Scentsy's doing that also, you know what I mean? Like, it's coming from corporate to kind of dissect those different groups to give them what they need at the point that they need it. You know what I'm saying? So that's been working. Alrighty, guys. So I know we've been on here forever already. Does anybody have any other questions? But these help. Like, I'm about to go order my home party supplies because I need to stop playing. Okay, don't laugh at me really quick, but y'all probably are. Do you know, and tell me if anybody else is, but Lord Jesus, I don't even know if I want to ask this question. I have never and it kills me to pay $75 for some home party testers. Have you guys ever replaced your testers since you joined? No? And I never have, because I don't use them. I don't do home parties. We can't hear you, Candy.
That's because I was yelling at my dog, so I muted y'all. Sorry.
Even some testers have changed colors. It's embarrassing.
I know.
I've changed my testers twice in 4 years.
I've changed my 0 and 5.
And you know how I do that? Because you're right. I ain't trying to pay no $75. You know them people who join and they just don't do nothing? I tell them, I'll give you $25 for your testers.
Dang, that's a good idea.
They ain't going to do nothing with them. They got the kit. They kept the product. But what they going to do with their testers? So I tell them, if you're willing to sell your testers, I'll give you $25 for them.
Wow, I didn't think about that.
Do what?
Aren't Jessica still probably good since she doesn't do home parties very often? It should be like blingy brand new.
No, they're all different colors.
Heck no. You know, okay, so I like My Dear Watson. You know, it's supposed to be like that teal color, that turquoise teal color. I opened it up and it was gray.
Great.
I was like, oh, crap.
Clean Breeze did that for me too. It's great.
So, yeah, I saw a video about with Katie Farner talking about if you're using your testers past the year, I'm like, oh, girl, you don't even want to know how long mine's been. So that's what I'm going to do. I need new testers, and I need to kind of get my display together. So that's what I'm going to do.
I take out all my old testers, and I use them. Look, I take all my wax out, and I use them. I give them away as freebies or whatever. Or if I just want to, instead of buying like my own stack of bars and stuff like that, I use all this old stuff, the stuff that I like.
That's a great idea, Candy. So you get the old out and just get one of your bars and get a cube and melt it. Then you got a brand new tester.
And then I turn around and I get my bucket and I use my empty shells. So that I can put washer whiff samples in here. So I don't have to go and buy anything to put the washer whiffs in there. And then I just have my information on there.
Hey, can you share that? I've been trying to find a template. Like where I don't, it's not working in my mind because
okay. So what I did is I used let me see.
Yeah, if you can share your template with us on the book page, that'd be awesome in the files.
Yeah, I'll put it on there. And it's not perfect. I used the Avery. Oh, crap. I used the shipping labels. The 2x4. I used the 2x4 shipping labels, the ones that come 10 to a page.
Uh-huh.
And then, so each label has 2 labels on it. So basically, you get, 20 on there? And then what I do, after I print them out, then I go and I punch it out with this little hole puncher.
Okay.
And it shows you on the bottom it's clear, so this way you can see, make sure you're lined up right. And then I hole punch them, and then when I'm ready to use them, I just I peel the back off and stick them on these deals. Like all of these are empty clamshells, and they're already ready with my label and everything. All I gotta do is just fill them. But I do that for all of my old testers because I'm not going to sit here with a closet full of testers and not use them.
Girl, I have my hallway. I cleaned my office out, which it's been working great, but I have those testers sitting there, and I went and bought the other day the little magnet because I was like, well, I'll do magnets, and not take them out because I don't want to do all that. So, but I don't have even for the small ones. Lucy had it, and I told her to post it on the page, but she hasn't done it yet. To put your information on at the top, the little ones. So
for the small ones, let me see. I have it here on my desk somewhere. Hang on.
Stacey Welch has it too. I should have asked her if she would mind posting that to the boot camp page.
Yes.
She does it a lot.
I have enough mini testers.
I mean, I have hundreds sitting over there, and I'm like, I cannot take all that wax out. So let me just put a magnet and put it in, like customer can just have my contact info, but I don't know, what to use to print it out. And I suck at that.
I'll look for it. It's here on my desk somewhere, girl, somewhere up in here. But yeah, I just bought them at Office Depot, and they're little small ones like that, and they fit perfectly on the testers.
Okay.
Hey, do y'all do the real quick now that I saw it on here since I have it? Do y'all do like the little deals for cotton balls? Do y'all fill the little bags with cotton balls?
I wanted to start. Do you have that written out?
Yeah. So mine says, it just says, remember, don't add new wax with old. The scent will fade is what I'm told. If changing your wax is what you wish, place 1 or 2 of these in your dish. Soaking up the wax with such ease, simply add a new cube, please. And then it has my contact information on the bottom. And so I put that inside everybody who gets a warmer from me. So that way they know how to change it out easier. I mean, some people change it out however they wish, but when they find out how easy it is, they like that. So.
Will you share that template?
Yeah, of course.
When you share that trick with customers, it's so funny, their expression. It's like you're like the new goddess. Like, oh my God, I didn't know that we could do that.
Yeah, I know. One lady was like, oh, I do the same thing, but I use paper towels. And I'm like, and how many of the paper towels do you use? Because it doesn't sop it up correctly. It still drips and makes a mess. Yeah. She's like, yeah, I use a lot. I'm like, all you need is 2 or 3 cotton balls. That's it. So.
Their expression is priceless when you show them.
Oh, yeah.
All righty, ladies. Well, this was a good one. So we'll see when we do the next one. Does anybody else have anything before we go? I am totally home parties. I'm gonna go book home parties. Somehow, some way. I don't know how.
Somehow, some way. You're gonna call people. You're gonna call people. That's what you're gonna do. And you're gonna pick up. That's right. Pick up the phone.
Candy.
Slide dial. SLYDIAL. Slide dial. Yes.
I'm gonna use that because I don't want to talk to nobody.
Hey, but you know what? Hold on. So that's okay. Believe it or not, guys, I didn't like to talk to nobody either. From the beginning, I was like real quiet. Like I didn't want to talk to nobody. Girl, now I talk to anybody anywhere. Shoot, I don't care where I'm at. I'll talk to people. But I think that kind of helps you get comfortable with talking. You know what I mean? Like you get used to it after a while, and it gets easier. Jessica, you got this. Quit playing.
I'm like, man, can I just like send you a quick video, like, and I'll be good. But
girl, when you look at people, act like they're a computer screen.
I'm like, I gotta hear you back, and I don't know.
Don't talk back to me. Just listen.
Just listen. Yes or no. We'll type 1 for yes, 2 for no. I'm bad, I know, but I'll get better. Somehow. Okay, guys. Well, awesome. Thanks for jumping on. Y'all are awesome, and we'll see you when we do the next one.
Love seeing you guys.
Bye. Hey, we need to do Nashville hookup for real. So we'll see.
I'm ready.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.